I was kind of asked to talk about like anxiety and how you can tell the difference between just being anxious about stuff and actually having an anxiety problem. Hi, baby. I have my kitty here. Um, and I think that when it comes to anxiety, everything is different. And for me personally, it was something that I grew up with, and it's something that I dealt with since I was really, really little. And I talk about this sometimes in my other videos, but I started with anxiety in like kindergarten, and I used to have a fear of fire drills, and I was scared of like that the school would catch on fire or something. And so that's like when it started, and it kind of just carried out. Like I was scared of school shootings. After 9/11, I was scared that an airplane was going to come through my house and kill me and stuff like that. So I think that's, I had a pattern. Like I think that's what was a little bit different. When I look at my friends who had anxiety, but not an anxiety problem, the thing that I notice the most is that when you have an anxiety problem as opposed to just anxiety, just, you know, anxiety, you're worried about it, but it doesn't withhold you from doing something. I'm anxious, but I'm not gonna let that, prevent me from going out and doing something. I am scared of school shootings, but I'm not gonna let that prevent me from going to the mall, the theater, wherever, where there's large groups of people that I don't know. Stuff like that. And I think that when it comes to that point where it's starting to withhold you from doing something in your life, like for example, for me personally, I would have such bad anxiety I wouldn't want to go to school, and I would like lay on the floor and cry, and I would be like, I was 15 years old, like it's not like I was like 8, I was 15 and I was begging my parents to let me stay home from school because I was so scared of this thing. And the way I can describe this is it's like a rational fear of something kind of irrational. Like I am genuinely afraid of it, but the chances of it happening are slim to none. And I think that that's when it started to become a problem because I wouldn't go to school. I would miss like 2 weeks of school, and or I'd only go in for like half a day, and it would get to the point that I would make myself physically sick to my stomach, and I would just bawl my eyes out because I was so scared and I was just so not wanting to do anything. I'd rather be asleep. And so that's like, with my anxiety, I developed like a panic attack disorder, and I think those go hand in hand because your brain has like this fight or flight mode, and if it feels like it's in danger, it's gonna build all this like chemical thing up, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna get out of here, but you can't because this thing you're trying to get away from is your brain. And I think that's when it comes into play, like with depression and panic attacks and anxiety, they all come encompassing this idea that you're afraid of yourself and you're afraid of your own brain. And I think that's the scariest thing because you're afraid of what you could do to yourself or others, and that's when you start to realize that you have a problem. Like anxiety, like, oh my god, I have a test that I didn't study for, I'm gonna bomb it and get an F, and then my parents are gonna get mad at me. It's normal. I have a boyfriend and I'm afraid he's gonna break up with me. We got in a really bad fight. That's normal. My best friend and I aren't doing very well. That's normal. I'm afraid of getting in a car accident. I'm afraid of getting on an elevator. I'm afraid of getting on an airplane. It's different. But when you're saying, I will not get on an airplane, I won't go on that trip to Italy with my family because I have to get on an airplane, I won't get in a car, I won't drive a car because I'm so scared of it, that's when it becomes a little bit different. And I think that when you need professional help when you're starting to question, do I need professional help? If you are questioning whether or not you can do it on your own, you probably can't do it on your own. And I don't think that everybody needs to be medicated who has anxiety problems. I personally have, because I wasn't functioning, and it's really helped me. I've been on medication for like 3 years and it's really helped me, but it may not help everybody. And I think the only way you can find that out is if you go to therapy or if you talk to your doctor. And I think that's the biggest thing people forget, is that your doctor is there to help you. And they're not going to sit there and be like, oh god, she's got issues, man. Like, they don't, the reason they're there is to make sure you live a healthy life. And if you lie to them and tell them you're not having suicidal thoughts, that you're not getting out of bed, does that make sense? It's a double negative. Like, certain things. And I think that if you're even questioning whether or not your anxiety is out of control, you should probably just talk to somebody. I'm not saying go to therapy. Some people don't benefit from therapy, and that's okay. Some people don't benefit from medication, that's okay, but at least try talking to a therapist, your pediatrician, your doctor, your counselor at your school, your school nurse, something. There's no harm in trying. So I guess what I'm saying is, the difference between anxiety and the difference between an anxiety problem is anxiety will make you a little bit uncomfortable and upset, but an anxiety problem will prevent you from doing things that make you happy. Going out with your friends because you're going to a movie theater and you're scared that there may be a shooting there. That's more of a problem than being concerned about something, but you're still gonna go do it, but it's in the back of your head and you're still thinking about it. So I think that's what it all boils down to, but in the end, I think that everybody can benefit from going and just talking to your doctor and seeing, maybe this is something that needs to be looked into a little bit more. And that's okay, that's okay. Just because you're on medication doesn't mean that you're like less of a person because you have issues. It just means like your brain doesn't make the sufficient amount of the chemical that it needs to process certain things, So this medicine helps evil out that chemical in your brain that you need to make this decision. And that's okay. That's completely okay, and that's nothing to be ashamed of to ask your doctor about. So I think in the very, very all complete end, it all goes back to talking to people and talking to a doctor and talking to a therapist or whoever you feel comfortable with and seeing what the best route is for you.